In this video, I'm going to be translating and talking about various items in chapter 13. As is always, there'll be 3 embedded items, and it's going to be world currencies that you'll be able to put and get a free 100 just for watching. So let's go ahead and translate. Interia, chapter 10, first word. Meanwhile, the Cornelii, in the nominative plural, were making. You see the BA. That BA imperfect, were verbing. Were making a journey. Now that would mean that iter is journey, third declension. But it is accusative direct object. I thought that direct objects would have these forms and the accusative. This is an instance of a neuter word. So far we've learned feminine and masculine and third declension masculine and feminine. In the next few chapters we're first going to be introduced to neuter words. And for neuter words, third declension especially, the rule is the nominative is identical to the accusative. And so in that way, iter, a journey, can function as a direct object because its neuter and neuter nominatives are identical. And if it's variant here, it's going to be the variant there. And that is exactly what's going on with iter. And remember the Appian Way is that road that was originally built down to Campania for the Samnite Wars, 312 BC, Appius Claudius Caecus, the man who built it. And eventually it went all the way beyond Campania. Originally it terminated in Capua, but then it went all the way to Brundisium, the port city that you would sail to Greece and the east. So they were making a journey through the Appian Way. Cornelius, because he again, not wants, but was wanting to arrive at Venire, to the city, ablative case, by, with, because of, from, in, on, at, ablative of time, in 3 days. Again and again, identidem, a new vocab word for this chapter. He was ordering Cyrus, remember he's the chauffeur, the coachman, the driver, to urge on the horses, to incite the horses. So he was ordering, again and again, Cyrus to urge on the horses. Cyrus, therefore, igitur, where Barabat was beating, again with the ba-ba-ba, the horses, ablative of instrument, with a whipstick, a crop, a new word in this chapter we have got. While they were going through the road. Ebat is an example of an irregular verb. It is the verb eo ire. Now in the present tense, it would be, and you have to memorize it, eo, is, it, emus, etis, and unt. But in the imperfect tense, ibam, ibas, ibat, and again you just continue with the mus, ibamus, ibatis, ibam. But you still have the BA, and that's the beautiful thing for eo ire. It's irregular, you got to memorize the present, but at least for the imperfect, it still retains that BA, letting you know in the past, but not completed. So while they were going through the road, Aurelia and Cornelia, spectabond, were watching the countrified ones. Remember, this is an adjective. It described the country house, right? But what we have done is we have taken it and we've turned it into a noun. And what is it called when you take an adjective and turn it into a noun? It's a substantive, meaning rusticus, rustici, a countrified person, a bumpkin, a hillbilly, a Peach County resident, where I am from. But it is rusticus, rustici. Originally, an adjective, but we have turned it into a noun. So Aurelia and Cornelia were watching the country people, the countrified people, who were working, laborabant, in the fields, in and no accusative. Marcus and Sextus were watching all the minivans which were going through the Appian Way. Septima ora erat. It was the 7th hour. Remember that the first hour of the day for the Romans, from 6 to 7. So, starting at 7, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. 1 p.m. was what we would call it. They call it the 7th hour. And as a matter of fact, to this day, what they are doing here in the areas that have been conquered by the Romans and influenced by the Romans, they do the same thing. They have a siesta. It's a nap in the afternoon. You go to Italy or Spain, things shut down right after lunch for several hours, and people rest. They take what is called a siesta, an afternoon sleep or nap. And the reason why it's called that is because it's from the Spanish word siete, 7th, or 7, the 7th hour originally for the Romans. So you go to Italy, you go to Spain, you go to Latin America, they have the siesta. And that's exactly what the Romans did, and that's why for all the areas that the Romans conquered and influenced, they do the same thing. It was the 7th hour. The day was hot. A 5th declension word. But you can tell me its gender. How? Because all the he verbs are equal signs. And since your CPA is masculine, tells me the day is masculine. Erat, as well, is the irregular, imperfect, from the verb sum esse. Of course, sum est in the present, sumus estis sunt. And by the way, your first world currency is the ruble. R-U-B-L-E, Russia. Ruble, R-U-B-L-E. Now, it is irregular in the imperfect. It is the only word that does not feature the BA in the imperfect. And you just got to memorize them, and here's what they will look like. Eram, eras, erat, eramus, running out of space, eratus, and erant. Present, I am, you are, he is right now. We are, y'all are, they are right now versus yesterday, I was, you were, he was in the past. We were, y'all were, they were in the past. Eram, eras, erat. Eramus, eratus, erant. So that's why they are not. It was hot. Est would say it is hot. But erat, it was hot. So the day was hot. In the fields, the countrified ones no longer were working, but they were resting. We get the word quiet from this. Quiesco, quiescere. They were resting sub arboribus, under the trees. This is also the example of a kind of verb when you see an SC that is called an inceptive verb. An inceptive verb is a verb that is going to imply beginning action. Like, for example, take the verb nask. That is the verb that means to be born. You can't continue to be born. The same thing with the verb to set out. Provokisk. If I set out to the office, I can't keep setting out. Some verbs, by their very nature, imply a beginning action, and this is one of them. Were resting. In the minivan, Cornelius and Aurelia, now or already, were sleeping with the BA. They're taking their siesta at the 7th hour, what we would term around 1 p.m. Then Marcus, Wexabat, was annoying Cornelia, ablative of means, with his foot. Cornelia, who was wanted to sleep. Sextus was sitting with the coachman, ablative of accompaniment with the coom. And Cyrus, renaming that coachman, is our appositive. Remember, an appositive is a word that renames another word, giving us more information about it in the sentence. He watched, was watching, BA, the road and vehicles. Now, I want to point out something here. That's obvious in accusative direct object, but look at vehicula. This is an example, again, of neuter, regardless of whatever the declension is. Second declension neuters, third declension neuters. It does not matter. Neuters in the nominative plural end with a, and we know, and remember the rule, Nominatives are identical to accusatives. And since the nominative ends with an A, in the plural, the accusative will end with an A. And that's how vehicula can get by with being the vehicle's direct object. It is vehicula. It's actually a second declension word, but it's still neuter, plural, accusative and nominative ends with an A. Suddenly, Sextus shouts out present tense. Eke Marke. Look, Marcus, talking directly to him, so therefore he's in the vocative. It is a charioteer. Est auriga. Auriga is like Goethe. It's one of the very few first declension words that are masculine. There's a whole list of them that you're going to be receiving. It's a new word in this chapter. It'd be kind of like you're riding along 278 in front of the Kroger, and you look over and there's a famous race car driver. He's thinking that this guy is a race car driver driving a race car. Marcus responds with a loud laugh. Magno risu. It's risible to him, laughable. No est auriga fatue. It is not a charioteer, stupid. Well, stupid is an adjective, and so we are substantiving it. Stupid boy. It is a courier, a mailman, a new word in this chapter, who is bringing letters, present tense, of famous citizens, ob urbe, from the city. Please do not confuse ob, away from, with odd, towards. Different words, and often students confuse them. Mailmen, mail carriers, couriers, always make, in the present tense, their journey, again, accusative because it's neuter. Quickly. Remember, you can make an adjective into an adverb by either adding an E to a first and second declension adjective or an iter to a third declension adjective. And so quickly, they make their journey because they are bringing the letters urbe from the city to all parts of Italy. Classic, part of a whole. The word part is there. Genitive, part of a whole. Quam celeriter iter facit. Quam here, how, showing an exclamation. How quickly, again, quickly, he makes the journey. In the present tense, there's no BA. Sextus shouts. Right now, in the present tense, there's no BA. He incites, he beats the horses, ferociously, iter, with the whipstick, the crop, ablative of instrument. Cave tabularium sire. Beware the courier, Cirrus, talking directly to him, in the vocative case. Sire. And again, this is cavere, the infinitive with the RE chopped off, a singular imperative. It's a command. Beware! Watch out for! Tenequos! Hold the horses. Tenere, with the RE chopped off. Calivosam, calivosam! Watch out for, beware the ditch, beware the ditch! He repeats it twice. Cirrus holds the horses. Tenet, he holds them. And he wetot, a new verb in this chapter, witare, to avoid. And he avoids the mailman, the courier, but the minivan descends, goes down, in plus accusative, into the ditch with a loud crash. Your second is peso, monetary unit, and your third is pound, the English pound. But nevertheless, hopefully watching the video helps you. Good luck.